Well, it is a very foggy morning here in Bute Inlet. It is crazy. We're just encapsulated by this ring of fog, but you can see the tops of the mountains perfectly clearly. It's really cool. There are logs floating absolutely everywhere again. We got bumped by one in the middle of the night, but it wasn't too big, so we just kind of let it go on its way. But I can see a pile of them stacked up over there, and another pile. I don't know if you can see it over here, but I'll get the other camera. But another pile of them over there that look like they've just escaped the log boom. Slept pretty well overnight. Apart from that, it's a little chilly this morning. There was a little bit of rain and wind overnight, but everything held and we're still here. And so are the helicopters. It's clearly shift change again this morning, and they're buzzing people from camp back out to the site. Magnificently beautiful though.
Had a lovely few days here at the head of Bute Inlet. We've had some really slow mornings, just sipping coffee and taking in the views, getting a little bit of work done, and then afternoons spent adventuring the shoreline nearby. Today we're thinking we'll adventure up the Hamathko River side and see how far we can make it in the dinghy. We've also heard some really interesting animal noises. We can't quite figure out what it is. At one point we thought it was a cougar in heat, then we thought maybe it was a pack of wolves, or it could just be sea lions. But there's like these growling sounds that sound like they're coming from over in that direction, so we're gonna dinghy along the shoreline and see what we can see. At the very least, we'll get a really, really nice view of the Hamathko Glacier and just enjoy the views from that side of Waddington Harbor. So it should be a really awesome afternoon. We dinghied over to the east side of Waddington Harbor and tied Bruno off to the pier used for the logging operations here. We hadn't been off the boat in 3 days, and we were eager to stretch our sea legs. We were a wee bit nervous to wander too far, though, acutely aware that we were in grizzly bear territory.
We did not see any grizzly bears
No.
on the beach here. We suspect that they're probably doing something else at the moment. It's the middle of the day.
It's pretty hot.
Pretty hot, so they're probably in the shade, like sleeping.
Yeah.
We'll come back and we'll check around dusk, I think, would be the better time maybe.
We thought maybe at low tide they'd be sniffing around the rivers and trying to catch fish.
No bueno.
But no bueno. We also tried to get our dinghy up the river, but
She's not as powerful as we thought, and the river has quite the strong current. So
and we were also having a few issues, and so we didn't want to risk it and get halfway up the river and then have our dinghy just stop working, because I'm not the greatest river rafter.
And I'm not a great swimmer.
That's an adventure for another day.
It is, but we still have the other river system to go check out on the other side of the end of the inlet here, so we might get back in Bruno and head over that way.
It's been a really incredible 3 days floating on the hook here. It's been so dreamy, honestly. These mountains are absolutely incredible. They're so dramatic, and the color of the water. Honestly, I think this place could be a national park. It should be a national park. It's absolutely incredible, and I also think that it should be protected. We've gotten so lucky with the weather. It's been extremely calm. So although this anchorage is not at all protected, it's been very, very settled. We've had really great sleeps other than the logs hitting our boat in the middle of the night. If you're in the area, you should definitely adventure all the way up the inlet and come check this place out. It's absolutely worth the distance. It's somewhat isolated, but there are places for you to drop the hook safely if you do your planning and know what you're in for. Thinking that we're going to haul up anchor today and feeling a little bit sad about it. I think we're ready to leave, but at the same time, it's always hard to leave.
Truly a beaut of a Bute Inlet. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know where else you'd ever find views like this. Everybody should come check it out because it's really bloody nice. But I'm glad that most people don't, because it's been nice and quiet apart from the sounds of industry around. We've seen 2 other boats up here in the last 3 days. And it's a bit of a shame, but I think it's probably time to leave. We're more or less running out of provisions. We ran out of ice a few days ago. We're running out of electricity. We had to run the generator a couple of times just to top up the house batteries so we could do some work. The outboard was giving us a little bit of trouble the other day when we were running up the river, which is a little bit annoying. Not quite sure what's going on with it. But we think it's getting air in the fuel, or it just cuts out at high RPMs all of a sudden. It's quite jarring. And apart from that, it's been great. Got a couple of boat projects done, and yeah, I think we're ready to go, but it really has been a truly memorable time up here.
Yeah, we're going to be hauling up anchor here in a couple of minutes and making our way back to Lease Cove or somewhere around there. It'll be a pretty long day for us, about 65 nautical miles or so. It's a really hot, sunny day, so we'll just have to keep cool and motor on.
Lucky. So I think it's wrapped around something.
Shit. Well, challenge number 1 of the day.
The anchor rode has wrapped around a snag somewhere down there. Our anchor is over there, but our road is pulling straight up here. So we have to work out how to do this. And I don't really know what the best solution is.
I'm gonna try and maneuver the boat into a position where it might be a little bit easier to get this rowed up. So we're just giving the boat a lot of power here and seeing if we can't untangle or unwrap the road from whatever object it's wrapped around, and it's wanting to spin this way. We did get quite a bit of length the first time we did this, so we're gonna try it again and see if we can untangle ourselves.
Our thinking was that if we stretched the road away from the snag, the elasticity in the road would spring the bow back towards the snag and start to unwind itself. This would hopefully give us an idea of which way the road is wrapped, and then allow us to drive the boat in that direction to further unwind it. Can we try it again?
I heard a crack. I think something like in the water cracked. Oh!
Did you get it?
I think. I heard something snap twice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like really faint, but
Yeah.
like an underwater crack.
See if we see on the road where it was snagged.
Well, it's really brown. Oh my god, we might have done it. Yeah, look at all the brown.
Yeah. It was caught on something down there.
It's caught on a tree. And it cracked, I heard it. It snapped twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to grab the buoy so the buoy doesn't get caught. Yeah, that was a little stressful. The anchor road was wrapped around some sort of obstacle on the bottom at about 180 feet out on the road. So we couldn't pull it up. We were pulling straight up on it and it just wouldn't come off. So we ended up just putting the boat in forward gear on just like idle speed and just letting it pull whichever way the boat needed to pull to try to unwrap it. We did one full loop and we got about 10 or 15 feet of the road back up, and then we tried it a second time and the boat actually spun in the opposite direction the second time, and then we got a little bit more up, then we cleared it off and just kind of gave a good bit of power in one direction. Al heard a few snaps underwater, so we're thinking it was probably caught on a piece of wood or a log or something, and it came free. So we pulled the rest of it up. We pulled up our retrieval buoy and hauled in the anchor, and now we're back underway, which is great. We didn't lose our ground tackle.
With our anchor safely back on board, we started the long 65 nautical mile journey out of the inlet. A full day of motoring back to Leask Cove, where the adventure began days before. We're humbled and grateful to get to experience the magic of Bute Inlet, some of the most incredible scenery we've seen on this coast. If you missed the two-part story of our journey up here, you're going to want to check those out. Link in the description below. There are really no words to explain how amazing this place is, and I hope efforts will be made in the future to help protect it. Join us next week.
We just left Leask Cove after making it out of Bute Inlet yesterday, and we're approaching Arran Rapids now at Stewart Island. It's quite a formidable set of rapids.
He's getting pushed completely sideways.
It can flood up to 14 knots and ebb at 12 or something like that. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get through. We'll let you know how it all goes.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. We'll see you next Wednesday.